When Alabama beat Georgia, Florida State fans got a little nervous. They couldn't keep an undefeated Power 5 conference champion out of the college football playoff, right? Except that's exactly what happened. They moved from 4 down to 5. Alabama jumps them. They are in the college football playoff, and Florida State is on the outside looking in. Kenton Gibbs from Locked On ACC and one of our co-hosts of Locked On College Football Kickoff Live joins me now. Kenton, what do you make of Committee Chair Boo Corrigan's explanation that really comes down to, well, Jordan Travis is hurt and they're not the team that they've been all season? Do you find that compelling?
No, it's not compelling at all for a multitude of reasons. Number one, you're basing that argument off of the last time that you saw that offense with a true freshman who had not played at all in meaningful football this year as the guy, when the actual quarterback that was going to be playing in the college football playoff forward has seen meaningful time, has beaten a Power 5 team, and he is in concussion protocol. He doesn't have, Tate Rodemaker doesn't have a torn ACL, MCL, PCL, doesn't have broken rotator cuff or anything like that. He is in concussion protocol. I have never heard of a first concussion keeping a guy out for a month plus. So by that logic, we're 99.9% sure that a guy who is capable and can lead this offense would have been playing, and yet and still, we see the first ever undefeated Power 5 conference champion who very well might have beaten the Heisman winner at a neutral site get put out of the playoff. It's a shame. It's a travesty. It's a sin. It's a debacle unlike anything I've ever seen.
How do you think this changes if Georgia just wins the SEC championship?
Honestly, I don't know, because if Georgia wins the SEC championship, you still kind of run into certain problems of, okay, so now you got Georgia undefeated, you've got Michigan undefeated, you've got Washington undefeated, and then you could say, well, Florida State comes in at number 4, but then you have the argument of, well, Texas did all this and
Texas
all that.
jumped them too.
And that's my whole problem here. It's based on the idea that Jordan Travis is hurt and he was playing phenomenally. He was playing like a Heisman candidate before he went down and all that. But the reality is Florida State wasn't a one-trick pony. They had an excellent stable of running backs. Benson and Tofili have been carrying the mail all year. You've got 2 receivers on the outside that are averaging 6'5.5" in terms of height, and one of them returns punts. One of them in Keon Coleman turns, but you look at the 6'7" guy that is at worst an early 3rd round pick, and you say that's the worst of my 2 receivers. You got a damn good problem on your hands. And then we haven't even talked about that defense with Jared Verse, a guy that he's going to be in that green room for a very, very short time.
Yep.
I mean, he's going to be in there shorter than my hair. That's how long he's going to be in that green room waiting for his name to be called. Big Fisk in the middle with 3 sacks in a conference championship game. Kalen DeLoach, one of the only homegrown talents on that team. A defensive backfield that has shown up consistently. One of the best scoring defenses in the nation. The narratives around the ACC are so nasty that instead of this being a hard-fought defensive struggle in which an excellent Florida State team found a way to win in spite of missing its leader, it was a mad Florida State team beat a mad Louisville team, as if Louisville's not one of the top 20 offenses in the nation, and as if Florida State hasn't consistently been one of the top scoring defenses in the nation.
Is this going to be one of the all-time, in terms of Florida State, Georgia, one of the all-time, we wish we were somewhere else games?
Oh, all time. I don't even know if the game is going to happen. I am, the way that Florida State fans and boosters and all that are talking about this game, the way that you could see so many players sit out in this game on both sides in terms of, hey, listen, if we don't have a shot at the national championship, yeah, cool, a New Year's Six Bowl is cute and all, but what does that do for these this caliber of program? One of which just had a 29-game winning streak ended. The other of which has had multiple national champions. It does not matter what age you are. 9 times out of 10, if you can walk, you can talk, you can function and do all the things and have self-actualization, you've seen both of these teams win national championships. So I would not be surprised if you see everybody and their mama in street clothes for this game. And I really wouldn't be surprised if Florida State sat it out all together and said, you know what, since our starting quarterback meant that much that our team is now a terrible team or now not the same caliber of team, regardless of us winning and doing so convincingly by double digits, we don't need to play this at all. I wouldn't be surprised and I wouldn't be mad at them.
You're saying a potential boycott here.
Absolutely. And I would not be mad at Florida State at all for doing it. The NCAA, the CFP has made their bed. And if Florida State decided, hey, this is the bed y'all made, go ahead and get somebody else to do it. Go ahead and get one of those teams with a high graduation rate to get on in there. Get James Madison, get one of those type of squads in there for that game. I'm not mad at them because the committee deserves this. You cannot leave an undefeated Power 5 team out. I don't care how you cut it, how you slice it. All you can do is beat the teams that are in front of you, including one of the SEC's best. So I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. And again, a boycott is not something I would be mad at this point.
Stay up to date all year on the ACC by subscribing to Locked On Sports Today and Locked On ACC on your favorite podcast app and on YouTube.